Have you ever felt your voice shaking, your words running ahead of your mind, or your message losing its power right when you needed it most? We all have. And in those moments, it feels as if your voice, your simplest tool, has turned into your biggest enemy. But here is the truth. You are not the problem. Your habits are. I learned this the hard way. For years, I spoke fast, stumbled on ideas, and felt invisible in rooms where others seemed naturally confident. One day, a mentor told me, "Your voice is not weak. It is just waiting to be trained." That sentence changed my life. It made me realize that clarity is not a gift. It is a practice. And today, you will learn that practice. In this narrative, you will travel through 9 habits that will shape your voice, sharpen your message, and unlock a new level of confidence inside you. These habits are simple but powerful, gentle but transformative. They helped me speak with strength, calm, and impact, and I wish someone had taught them to me sooner. Now take a deep breath. Your clearer, stronger voice starts here. Habit 1. Pause to let your words breathe. Have you ever noticed how music becomes beautiful not only because of the notes, but because of the silence between them? The same is true for your speech. A powerful voice is not only built with words, it is built with pauses. A pause is a moment of strength, a moment of control, a moment where your message settles into the listener's mind like a seed falling into rich soil. But most people fear silence. They speak quickly, rush their points, and fill every second with sound, because they think silence makes them look unsure. The truth is the opposite. Silence makes you look confident. Only a strong speaker dares to pause. I learned this during a difficult presentation many years ago. My hands were shaking. My heart was racing. I felt my voice speeding up as if it wanted to escape. A mentor later said to me, "Your words didn't fail, you just didn't give them space to live." That sentence opened my eyes. I realized I was strangling my ideas by never allowing them to breathe. So I began practicing the art of pausing. First I paused before speaking. One deep breath, one moment of grounding. Then I paused after key sentences, letting them land, letting them echo. And slowly, something magical happened. People started listening more carefully. My ideas became easier to understand. My voice sounded calmer, stronger, and more mature. Even my thoughts became clearer, because my mind finally had time to catch up with my mouth. A pause shows maturity. It shows discipline. It shows that you are in control of your message, not running away from it. When you pause, you give your listeners a gift, the gift of clarity. And you give yourself a gift too, the gift of calm. So, the next time you speak, don't rush, don't run, don't fear the silence. Use it. Own it. Let your words breathe. Because when you pause with purpose, your voice becomes unforgettable. Habit 2. Slow your pace to increase your power. Have you ever tried to talk so fast that even you could not follow your own words? Many people believe that speaking quickly makes them sound smarter, sharper, or more impressive. But the truth is simple. Speed doesn't create power. Clarity does. And clarity is born from a calm, steady pace. Think of a great leader you admire. Do they rush their sentences? Do they speak as if they are late for something? No. Powerful speakers move slowly, with purpose. Their pace gives weight to every word. Their calm rhythm demands respect without ever asking for it. Slow speech is not weakness, it is mastery. Years ago, I was the opposite. I spoke like my thoughts were on fire. Teachers told me to slow down, friends asked me to repeat, and I could see confusion in people's eyes. I thought the problem was them, but in truth, the problem was my pace. I rushed because I was nervous. I rushed because I wanted to finish quickly. I rushed because I didn't believe my words were valuable enough to be delivered slowly. One day, while giving a talk, an older gentleman approached me afterward. He smiled kindly and said, "You have strong ideas, but they're trapped in a fast river. Slow the river, and the strength will show." His advice changed everything. I practiced slowing down. At first it felt strange, almost too quiet inside my own voice, but I kept going. Soon, something incredible happened. People leaned in. They listened more. My words felt bigger, fuller, more meaningful. My confidence grew, not because I spoke louder, but because I spoke slower. A slow pace creates space. Space for your message, space for your listener, and space for your own thoughts. When you control your pace, you no longer chase your words. Instead, they follow you. So the next time you speak, imagine you are guiding your listeners through a calm, clear path. Not running ahead, but walking with them. Let your pace become steady. Let your message grow strong. Because when you slow your pace, your voice becomes power. Habit 3. Speak in clear, complete sentences. There is a quiet kind of strength that appears when your words stand tall, whole, complete, and confident. Most people speak in broken fragments, rushing from one idea to the next, leaving listeners to stitch the meaning together on their own. But powerful communicators? They speak in full, complete sentences that flow like a steady river. Every idea arrives finished. Every message arrives understood. When you speak in complete sentences, you immediately sound more intelligent, more calm, and more trustworthy. It shows you are thinking clearly. It shows you are in control of your thoughts, not drowning in them. Imagine two people explaining the same thing. One says, yeah, like, I was thinking maybe, we can try. The other says, I believe we should try a new approach. It will save time and give us better results. Who would you trust? Who would you follow? The answer is obvious. This habit doesn't require extra vocabulary. It doesn't require fancy, complex grammar. It only requires that you slow down long enough to finish your thought before you release it into the air. A complete sentence carries clarity. It carries direction. It carries confidence, and confidence attracts attention. Start by practicing simple structures. I believe. My plan is. The main point is. What I need is. These frames help your ideas land cleanly. The more you practice, the more natural it feels. Soon, you won't even realize you're doing it. Your speech will simply become smoother, more powerful, and more influential. Every complete sentence becomes a small promise. I know what I want to say, and I trust my voice to say it. Master this habit, and people will stop guessing what you mean. They will start listening, deeply, fully, and with respect. Habit 4. Warm up your voice before you speak. Your voice is not just sound, it is an instrument. And like every instrument, it performs best when it is warmed up. Most people begin speaking cold, and then wonder why their voice cracks, feels tight, or sounds weak. But strong speakers know a secret. A warm voice creates warm influence. Before every important conversation, presentation, meeting, or recording, take a moment to prepare your voice. This is not about singing. It's about activating the muscles that help you communicate with clarity, strength, and calmness. A warmed-up voice is smoother. It carries emotion better. It travels farther without strain. And most importantly, it makes you sound confident even before you speak your first word. Start with simple breathing. Inhale deeply through your nose, fill your lungs, and let your shoulders relax. A relaxed breath creates a relaxed voice. Then do a gentle hum. Soft, smooth, steady. Let the vibration wake your vocal cords. Continue with small lip or tongue rolls. These loosen tension around your mouth so your words come out clean, not tight or tangled. You can also practice a few low to high sounds, like gently sliding from one tone to another. This helps your voice stretch, making it more flexible and expressive. It may feel strange the first time you try it, but the results will amaze you. Imagine walking into a room after warming up. Your voice feels open, your words flow effortlessly, and your tone carries authority. Listeners instantly sense the difference. You sound prepared. You sound intentional. You sound like someone whose message matters. Warming up takes less than a minute, but the impact lasts the entire conversation. It helps you avoid nervousness, eliminates vocal cracks, and gives your speech a smoother rhythm. A prepared voice creates prepared energy. This small habit may seem simple, but it separates weak communication from strong influence. Treat your voice like a valuable tool, because it is. Warm it up, and your message will rise clearer, stronger, and more powerful than ever before. Habit 5. Breathe through your nose to stay calm. Clear speaking begins long before the first word leaves your mouth. It begins with your breath. And the most powerful, natural, and calming way to breathe, especially when you want to speak clearly, is to breathe through your nose. When you breathe through your mouth, your breath becomes shallow. Your chest rises quickly, your heartbeat speeds up, and your mind starts to rush. That rush makes your words rush too. You speak faster, stumble more, and lose control of your tone. But nasal breathing does the opposite. It slows everything down. Your thoughts, your rhythm, your energy. It tells your body, relax, you're safe, you're in control. Breathing through your nose warms the air, moistens it, and filters it, supporting your lungs and vocal cords. It gives your voice a smoother, more stable quality. And when your breath is calm, your words become calm as well. Before you speak, practice a simple habit. Inhale slowly through your nose, hold for a moment, then release gently through your mouth. This is not about forcing calmness, it's about allowing it. Nasal breathing activates your parasympathetic nervous system, the part of your body responsible for peace, clarity, and balance. Imagine walking into a meeting or conversation with your breath grounded. Your voice becomes steady, your sentences become smoother, and your mind becomes clear. People immediately notice when someone speaks from a calm center. It creates trust. It creates presence. It creates authority without effort. When you feel nervous, pause and breathe through your nose. When your thoughts feel tangled, breathe through your nose. When your voice feels tight or weak, breathe through your nose. You'll feel the tension melting away, slowly but surely. This habit seems small, but it changes everything. Clear breathing brings clear speaking, and clear speaking brings clear communication. Practice nasal breathing for just a few minutes every day, and soon it becomes your natural state, your secret advantage. Your voice will feel richer. Your mind will feel lighter. And your words will finally sound the way you always wished they could. Calm, confident, and beautifully controlled. Habit 6. Use strong but gentle voice volume. Clear speaking is not about shouting, and it is not about whispering. It is about finding that perfect middle ground, a voice that is strong enough to be heard, yet gentle enough to be welcomed. This balance creates confidence without aggression, presence without pressure. Many people speak too softly because they fear disturbing others or sounding rude. But when your volume is too low, listeners struggle to understand you. They miss your ideas, even if those ideas are powerful. On the other hand, speaking too loudly makes your voice feel heavy, tense, and sometimes even unpleasant. The key is a balanced tone, steady, warm, and confidently clear. Think of your voice like a light. A bright light helps everyone see, but a harsh light makes them uncomfortable. A soft light creates peace, but too soft makes everything unclear. You need brightness with comfort, clarity with kindness. To achieve this, start with your posture. Stand or sit upright so your voice has space to travel. Then speak from your breath, not your throat. Throat speaking creates strain, but breath-supported speaking creates natural volume. When you breathe through your nose and release gently, your voice becomes smoother and stronger without effort. Try this simple exercise. Read a sentence aloud and imagine you are speaking to a single person sitting across the table. Then read it again, and imagine speaking to someone at the far corner of the room. Increase your volume slightly, but keep your tone soft and controlled. This helps you understand how to project your voice without pushing it. When your voice is strong but gentle, people lean in, not because they can't hear you, but because they want to hear you. Your words feel more trustworthy. Your message feels more thoughtful. Your presence becomes natural and respected. A balanced voice volume shows confidence, maturity, and emotional control. It tells the world that you believe in your message and that they should listen. Practice this daily, and soon your voice will carry not just sound, but influence, clarity, and calm power. Habit 7. Finish one thought before starting another. One of the fastest ways to confuse your listener, and even yourself, is to start a new idea before finishing the one you're on. We all do it, especially when our minds are busy or we feel nervous. Sentences get tangled, ideas overlap, and listeners are left guessing. What are you really trying to say? Master communicators know that clarity comes from completing one thought at a time. When you finish your idea before moving on, You give your listener the chance to fully understand and absorb your words. You also give yourself the space to think clearly, reducing the risk of rambling or losing your point. I learned this habit the hard way. In meetings, I would jump from one topic to another: marketing, deadlines, social media, budgets, all in one breath. People would nod politely, but I could see the confusion in their eyes. I was thinking faster than I was speaking, and it made me sound scattered and unsure. My ideas were good, but they were buried under chaos. The turning point came when a mentor told me, "If your words are rushing, your mind is racing. Stop. Finish one thought. Let it land." I tried it. At first it felt slow, almost uncomfortable, but I noticed something remarkable. People listened more intently. My words carried weight. My confidence grew naturally. Ideas that once felt lost now landed clearly. Start practicing with short sentences. Express one complete thought, pause, then move to the next. For example, our project deadline is next Friday. Meeting this deadline will require additional support. Let's assign 2 more team members to ensure success. Compare that to rambling through all 3 ideas in one breath. It's a night and day difference. Finishing one thought at a time is a simple habit, but it transforms your communication. Your words become understandable, your confidence becomes visible, and your message becomes powerful. Master this habit, and you will no longer leave your listeners behind. Each idea will land with clarity, impact, and authority. Habit 8. Use simple frameworks to guide your words. Have you ever tried to explain something important only to see eyes glaze over or heads tilt in confusion? You know your idea is good, but somehow it gets lost in the jumble of words. The solution is not to speak faster, use bigger words, or cram more information. The solution is to use simple frameworks to guide your words. Frameworks are like maps for your ideas. They give structure to your thoughts and make complex concepts easy to understand. When you follow a clear framework, your message flows logically. Your listeners can follow every step, and your words leave a lasting impact. I remember one meeting early in my career. I was excited about a new project idea but ended up rambling for 10 minutes. By the end, my colleagues were polite, but confused. Then a mentor introduced me to a simple method called CCC: Context, Core, Connect. Context sets the stage. Explain why something matters. Core delivers the main idea, the what. Connect ties it to the listener, the so what. Suddenly, my ideas landed clearly, and people understood me instantly. Here's an example. Instead of saying, "We need to improve our social media posts because engagement is down and the team is busy," and, well, you can use CCC, Context. Engagement on our social media post has dropped in the last month. Core. We need to increase posting consistency and improve content quality. Connect. This will help our brand reach more people and generate better results. Notice the difference? One is confusing and exhausting. The other is structured, persuasive, and easy to follow. Using frameworks is not about sounding robotic. It's about creating clarity and confidence. It allows you to stay on point, avoid rambling, and make your ideas memorable. Once you master this habit, every presentation, conversation, or discussion become simpler, stronger, and more effective. Frameworks don't just organize your words, they organize your mind. And a clear mind creates a clear voice that people truly listen to. Habit 9. Explain through stories and analogies. Some ideas are hard to grasp. Numbers, processes, abstract concepts, they can float above people's heads, leaving confusion in their wake. But there's a secret that great communicators use: stories and analogies. They transform the complex into the simple, the abstract into the familiar, and the confusing into the memorable. Stories create a mental picture. Analogies connect the unknown to something everyone already understands. When you use them, you don't just explain, you show. You don't just talk. You invite your listener to feel, imagine, and understand. I learned this habit while trying to explain a difficult concept to my younger cousin. I was struggling to make sense of compounding interest. Numbers flew past, eyes glazed over, and I felt frustrated. Then I remembered a simple idea: the snowball. I said, compounding interest is like rolling a snowball down a hill. It starts small, but as it rolls, it gathers more snow, growing faster and faster. Instantly, his eyes lit up. He got it. He remembered it. And I realized that an analogy had turned something abstract into something real, simple, and relatable. Stories work in the same way. Share a personal experience, an example, or a mini-narrative. People naturally remember stories far better than raw facts. Analogies make you relatable and make complex ideas digestible. Combine the two, and your message sticks. For example, instead of saying, "Our team must improve efficiency to maximize output," you could say, "Imagine a bucket with a small hole. Even if we pour water quickly, it leaks. Fixing the hole first lets every drop count. That's how improving our processes will help us achieve more." Suddenly, the idea is vivid, logical, and memorable. Using stories and analogies doesn't take more words. It takes more creativity. But it multiplies understanding, engagement, and impact. Master this habit, and your communication transforms. Your words won't just be heard. They'll be felt, remembered, and understood. Stories and analogies give your voice the power to connect deeply and make your ideas unforgettable. Final words. Speak clearly. Inspire deeply. Clear speaking is not just a skill. It is a bridge. It connects your thoughts to the minds of others, your intentions to their understanding, and your ideas to real impact. Every pause you take, every complete sentence you form, every breath you control, every story or analogy you share, builds that bridge stronger, steadier, and more powerful. The 9 habits we explored: pausing, slowing your pace, speaking in complete sentences, warming up your voice, breathing through your nose, using balanced volume, finishing one thought at a time, guiding your words with frameworks, and explaining with stories, are not random tips. They are tools to transform ordinary speaking into extraordinary influence. When you practice these habits, something magical happens. You don't just speak more clearly, you think more clearly. You don't just communicate, you connect. Your confidence grows, not from arrogance, but from mastery. Your voice becomes a force that carries ideas, inspires action, and leaves a lasting impression. And most importantly, you realize that speaking clearly is not about impressing anyone. It's about being understood, being heard, and being remembered. Here on NarratEzy English, our mission is to help you grow, not just in language, but in life. Every story, every lesson, and every practical tip is designed to equip you with skills that go beyond English. Clear communication transforms careers, relationships, and personal growth. It gives you the power to share your unique ideas with confidence, clarity, and purpose. So go ahead. Practice these habits. Speak slowly. Pause meaningfully. Breathe deeply. Structure your words. And tell your stories. Let your voice reflect your true self. And remember, the world listens to those who speak clearly, not just for words, but for the ideas, emotions, and inspiration they carry. Your voice matters. Your message matters. Start today and inspire deeply.